This is the instructional video for how to make the coffee cozy template for cutting and pinning. So I'm going to be adjusting my camera so that you guys can actually see what I'm working with. So I have on my template my little cat cozy drawn out. I've got my button over here. My applique pieces are going to be my paws, the inside of my ears, my eyes, and my nose. And then my back stitching is going to be the whiskers and the mouth. So now that I have identified where all of those things are, I'm going to take my paper scissors and I'm going to be cutting my project out on the solid black line around the project. If you are choosing to do something like this where there's ears coming up out of the top, whenever you are cutting, you need to remember that that is now a part of your background. So whenever you get to them, you don't want to cut them off, you want to go around them. That way they are built into your template. From here we're going to pick out what color fabric we want. I have decided that I want to do an orange cat because that's the type of cat that I had growing up. So I'm going to take my large piece of felt. For those of you that are in the classroom, you get one large piece of felt and then the rest of your colors will come from the scrap bin. For those of you that are core or doing this at home, you are just going to get to work with however much or whatever fabric that you have available to you. If it is about the size of a piece of paper, the way that you can be the most resourceful is by folding it in half hot dog style and then putting your project directly on top of it. That way in one cut you will get your front piece and your back piece. I'm now going to take my pins and I'm going to stab through all three layers of my felt and my paper. So the paper is one layer and then the felt is my two other layers. So I'm going to do this on all the sides to make sure it does not wiggle around. So you need to stab down and come back up through so it's not moving. Make sure it's staying even. And put another one here. And another one on the bottom just to make sure that it stays where I need it to stay. I will now be taking my fabric scissors and I will be cutting around the entire project, making sure not to cut off my ears again. I definitely don't want to do that. So I'm getting right up to the edge of the paper and I'm making nice even cuts. Be aware of where those pins are so you don't poke yourself while they're in your project. Okay. I know there's nothing super duper exciting about cutting, so I apologize. If you cut into the paper a little bit, that's okay. Just try to stay off to the side of it. Okay, now to go around my ears. And there we have it. So now I can take my pins out And with that, I now have two exactly matching pieces that are my front and my back. However, I'm not done cutting and pinning at this point. I'm just done with my front piece and my back piece. So we're going to set those aside. Next thing I need to do is to cut out my applique pieces. So that's going to be my paws, my nose, my eyes, and the inside of my ears. So I have selected that I wanted to have white paws. So I went ahead and got some fabric for that. And I wanted to have a pink nose and pink insides of my ears. So I will go back to my paper scissors and I'm going to cut the paws, the eyes, and the ears out with my paper scissors. In order to make sure that my paws are exactly the same size, I'm actually just going to cut one out and I'm going to cut two of that same paw. So there's my paws. So I can fold this in half to get exactly what I want. And I'll cut two at one time. I gotta pin it down. And then my triangle nose. I can just cut right into my project now because I don't need that. And I'm going to freehand my eyes so that way I don't have to cut my eyes out and so that I know that they're the same size. So since my triangle is so little, I still do need to pin that down, or I could freehand that as well. I might do that. But my paws, I definitely want to make sure are the exact same. Alright, so there's my paws. So I can unpin those. And those will end up lining up there and there. I'm probably going to use my scissors a little bit just to kind of curve it out a bit more than what it is. And that's fine. Just hard to cut around the pin sometimes. So there's that one. That looks much better. And there's my other paw. So I would just kind of build it into the project like that. For my eyes then would get added in there, and then my ears. So that is how to cut and pin for the Coffee Cozy.